To you wherever you are under the sound of my voice. This is the educational platform that comes away on Homeland TV, CK, the pride of the African continent. With me, Tony Michael Howard, your Pan-Africanist and social justice practitioner, tasked with the responsibility of inspiring and motivating the current generation of young Africans in the actualization of their respective dreams, preaching the message of peace and national unity, as well as revitalizing the Africanization policy that speaks about good governance, social justice, democracy, human rights, and most importantly, the African unity. And for today's edition of the educational platform, I speak to you on marketing. In the marketing, I will talk to you on customers. So if you're a business owner or a petty trader seated under the sound of my voice, this is very important for you. When we talk about customers in marketing, these are people who buy or have interest in our goods or services that we offer as business owners or entrepreneurs. And there are three major types of customers that I would like to highlight on today for your consumption. It is important that we understand the three types of customers so that it provides us an opportunity to be able to serve them with due diligence. Mind you, there have been lots of businesses, both small, medium, and large-scale businesses that have collapsed because people have not had a requisite understanding of their customers. In as much as there are various types of customers, I will speak about the three crucial ones that are needed to be known by service providers, by business institutions, to be able to treat them with due diligence, like I says. The first type of customer is what we call the internal customers. That is why INTERNAL. Internal customers, these are people who are involved in the day-to-day activities of the business. In other words, they are involved in the running of the business. From the general manager, from the board members, to marketers, to secretary, to every single individual, the customer service agent, every single individual that is attached to that company. For example, since we are in the Gambia, let's take AfriCell for instance, or QCell, or any of the mobile service providers. Every single individual, from the cleaner of that very office to the highest person in the position of authority, are regarded as what? The internal customers. Now, why is it important for the internal customers of an establishment to hold together in team spirit? Because there is a quotation that says, if the house does not sell you, the streets will never buy you. It is only when the internal customers hold together, understanding ethics, understanding the working environment, understanding the aim and objective of that very institution, that they will be able to serve the general public. So from the cleaner, they must be acquainted with the day-to-day activities of the organization, the secretary, the customer service agent, those that are responsible to do marketing. They must be conversant with the objective of the institution. They must understand that the customers are always right, and as such, whether they are at work or not in their respective communities, they are still serving as good ambassadors of that establishment. So at all times, they must be able to produce good conduct. They must be able to offer quality service to their customers out there, to the general public. So there must be what? A coordination between and amongst the working staff of that establishment. There must be an in-depth understanding from the hierarchy of that institution, narrowed down through what you call the communication system, where the communication system you have what? The downward vertical. What is the downward vertical? The downward vertical of the organization comes in the form of what? Instruction or mandate, which has to do with the target, what the organization is expected to uphold. What are the values? What are the targets for the day? What are the targets for the week? What are the targets for the month or 6 months or a yearly basis? It has to be communicated from those at a higher authority down to the layman in that very institution. And it is the responsibility of every department head to communicate those objectives to their subordinates in their respective department, so that in the end, every single individual in that very establishment understands what the organization stands for and what it is expected to gain within the period of time. It is not when the target, the objective, or the vision of that establishment is understood by the internal audience or the internal customers of that establishment that it is communicated to the second category of customers whom we call the external customer, EXTERNAL, who are then referred to as the external customer. These are people who have direct interest in your establishment. They come with the money to purchase your goods or service on a daily basis. That is the reason why we say until and unless the internal customers hold as a team spirit, understanding the target, understanding the vision, understanding the objective of the organization, they won't be able to serve the general public, which happens to be the external audience or customers. These external audience come with the resources to tap into your goods or services, and they expect excellent customer service from home, from the first type of customer whom we call the internal customers. So on a day-to-day basis, it is the responsibility of the internal customers to ensure that the needs, the aspirations of the external customers are met in terms of listening to the protest or the grievances. Perhaps they bought a product from you and the product did not offer the kind of service that it was advertised about. So it is the responsibility of the internal customers to take responsibility and then find lasting solution to the demands of the external customers. Because if you do not treat your external customers well, there is trouble for the business. The business, it is only existing at the service of the external customers. Without your external customer, there is no establishment. Without your external customer, you don't make profit. It is in fact the profit that you use, the income that you get, the revenue that you collect, that enables you to take care of the salaries and the day-to-day activities of your establishment. How do you pay your internal customers if you do not have external customers that pump in their money for your goods or service? So it is binding responsibility of the establishment owners, the internal customers, to ensure that the service is 100% good to the demands of the external customer. Because, mind you, it is the satisfaction of the external customers that leads to the third category of what customers call the would-be or potential customers. Your external customer satisfaction will make them to serve a reference or references to would-be or potential customers. Now, who do we refer to as would-be or potential customers? These are people who have not had direct interest with the establishment, or in other words, they are expected potentially to be a customer based on information gathered by people who have received your service, people who have gone through your business institution and have received the service and can attest to the fact that the product that you offer, be it a hotel that you manage, the service is excellent, it is a restaurant that you manage, the food is good, and your staff have excellent behavioral pattern, quality service. They are the ones to serve as references to your would-be or potential customer. So we go back to the internal customer, which says these are people who are involved in the day-to-day activities of the organization, ensuring that there is a coordination between and amongst the staff to ensure that they understand the vision, the objective, the aims of that very establishment. That now gives them the propensity or the possibility to offer the service to the external customers, who happens to be people who have direct interest in the establishment. They bring in the money to get a service or your goods, and the goods that has been advertised must provide a service that has been advertised excellently, so that those who purchase a product or services will serve as reference to would-be or potential customers who would then have a reason to purchase the establishment. Are we on the same page? Those of you wherever you are on the sound of my voice, we said this is the educational platform that is meant to widen the horizon of our followers, our viewers, wherever you are in your respective communities and nations and the diaspora, so that there are different subject matters that you can tune into Homeland TV, seeking the pride of the African continent, and get a horizon widening on your business establishment. Different subject areas, could be literature, could be English language, and all of different disciplines. We're going to bring in experts that will be able to challenge you and widen your mind so that you learn something new and be challenged to do better in your respective discipline. With me, Tony Mikel Howard, a Pan-Africanist and social justice practitioner. tasked with the responsibility of inspiring and motivating the current generation of young Africans in the actualization of their respective dreams, preaching the message of peace and national unity, as well as revitalizing the Africanization policy that speaks about good governance, social justice, democracy, human rights, and most importantly, the African unity. Thank you very much. Follow us, Homeland TV on Facebook and YouTube, if you like. Follow us. Bye-bye.